There we go. How's everything sounding? Yes? Can you hear me? Perfect.
Yes.
Jai, so thank you so much. Wonderful to be here. Just trying to make sure all of the gadgets are working and mics are working and cameras are working and computer screens are all working. But I feel incredibly fortunate to be here with all of the devotees once again. Last EKADASI, I was on my way traveling to Sadhu Sangha retreat, which was incredible. And then after several weeks of kind of intense travel and then Vaishnav Seva and then more travel and then Vaishnav Seva, and then you kind of wonder when the break will be, and then the Lord says, "Here, sit down." And then I got COVID and had to isolate. So that's why I've been kind of just home. So I've been recovering, and thankfully, hopefully, I'm back for this weekend, because this weekend is such a big weekend for us here in New York. We have Snan Yatra on a Saturday, and then we have a Panihati festival on a Sunday, and so I'm really definitely looking forward to that. After the Lord has given me a sort of transcendental heads up and a timeout, so I feel so grateful to be with all of the devotees on Ekadashi, to be able to celebrate with each and every one of you. Without further ado, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, today is the day of Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. This is one of my favorites. I remember being in school and yearning to take the day off so that I could observe a full fast. There were a few years where I actually did take the day off to observe a full fast. And I remember in high school having to having to kind of make an entire presentation. Not as lengthy a presentation as Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan in order to save the Sampradaya. Not that lengthy, not that intense, but I wound up having to make a presentation because Nirjal wound up falling near the World Series, so the baseball World Series championship parade had happened around the same time. And there was a big showdown that year between the Mets and the Yankees. And then everybody was celebrating this world championship parade. And very few of my teachers believed that I had really wanted to take off to observe religious rites and rituals rather than to maybe go to the baseball parade. So then I wound up doing an entire kind of presentation on the fact that Gaudiya Vaishnavism is a very, very recognized religious organization filled with rituals that demand my full attention on certain days, especially because falling in June, it's close to the end of the school year. And so none of my teachers really believed that I wanted to take a full day off for fasting. And so I did so many comparisons between Jewish days of fasting and then Krishna conscious religious days of fasting and different religious days of fasting and how this was exactly comparable and how it would give all kinds of benefits. And it actually resulted in one of my history teachers sticking up for my right to observe the day of Nirjala Ekadashi. So it's one of my favorites. I feel as though I've been kind of advocating for it for a very long time in my life. I feel like we should all take full advantage of Nirjala Ekadashi because this is a day where Krishna lovingly, sweetly, almost heartbreakingly so, runs to make life easier for his devotees. And he doesn't even want us to forget that this is a day where he is specifically making life easier for his devotees. And so then he named it after the Pandavas. Because, of course, this day honors the great Pandava Bhima. And so Bhima, also known as Bhimsen, he was finding it very difficult to complete fasting. So we'll hear the story of Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. Once Bhimasen, the younger brother of Maharaj Yudhishthir, asked the great sage Vyasadeva, the grandfather of the Pandavas, if it is possible to return to the spiritual world without having observed all the rules and regulations of the Ekadashi fasts. Bhimasen then spoke as follows. O greatly intelligent and learned grandfather, my brother Yudhishthir, my dear mother Kunti, and my beloved wife Draupadi, as well as Arjuna, Nakula, and Sadev, fast completely on each Ekadashi and strictly follow all the rules, guidelines, and regulative injunctions on that sacred day. Being very religious, they always tell me that I should also fast on that day too. But, O learned grandfather, I tell them that I cannot live without eating, because as the son of Vayudev, Samanapran, the digestive air, hunger is unbearable to me. I can give widely in charity and worship Lord Keshav properly with all manner of wonderful upachars, items, but I cannot be asked to fast on Ekadashi. Please tell me how I can obtain the same merits and results without fasting. Hearing these words, the grandsire of Bhima, Srila Vyasadeva said, if you want to go to the heavenly planets and avoid the hellish planets, you should indeed observe a fast on both the light and dark Ekadashis. Bhima replied, O great, saintly, intelligent grandfather, please listen to my plea. O greatest of Munis, since I cannot live if I eat only once in a day, how can I possibly live if I fast completely? Within my stomach burns a special fire named Vrika, the fire of digestion. Agni, the fire god, descends from Lord Vishnu through Brahma, from Brahma to Agniras, from Angiras to Brihaspati, and from Brihaspati to Samyu, who is Agni's father. He is the gatekeeper in charge of Nairiti, the southeastern direction. He is one of the 8 material elements, and Parikshit Maharaj, he is very expert at examining things. He examined Maharaj Shibi once by turning into a dove. We can see the commentary to Srimad Bhagavatam 1:12:20 purport. Agni is divided into 3 categories. Davagni, the fire in wood. Jataragni, the fire in the digestion in the stomach. And Vadavagni, the fire that creates fog when hot and cold steams mix in, for example, the ocean. Another name for the fire of digestion is Vrika. It is this powerful fire that resided in Bhima's stomach. Thus he is known as Vrikodar. Only when I eat to my full satisfaction does the fire in my stomach become satisfied. O great sage, I might possibly be able to fast only once. So I beg that you tell me of an Ekadashi that is worthy of my fasting and that includes all other Ekadashis. I shall faithfully observe that fast and hopefully still become eligible for liberation's release. Srila Vyasadeva replied, O king, you have heard from me about the various kinds of occupational duties, such as elaborate Vedic ceremonies and pujas. In the Kali Yuga, however, no one will be able to observe all these occupational and functional duties properly. I shall therefore tell you how, at practically no expense, one can endure some small austerity and achieve the greatest benefit and resultant happiness. The essence of what is written in the Vedic literatures known as the Puranas is that one should not eat on either the dark or light fortnight Ekadashis. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavat Purana is itself the essence or cream of all Vedanta philosophy, Sara Vedanta Saram, and the Srimad Bhagavatam's unequivocal message is that of full surrender to Lord Sri Krishna and the rendering of loving devotional service to him. Observing Ekadashi strictly is a great aid in that process, and here Srila Vyasadeva is simply stressing to Bhima the importance of the Ekadashi Vrat. One who fasts on Ekadashis is saved from going to the hellish planets. Hearing Srila Vyasadeva's words, the son of Vayu Bhimasen, the strongest of all warriors, became frightened and began to shake like a leaf on a banyan tree in a strong wind. The frightened Bhimasen then said, "Oh, grandfather, what should I do? I am completely unable and ill-equipped to fast twice in a month throughout the year. Please tell me of the one fasting day that will bestow the greatest benefit upon me." Vyasadeva replied, "Without drinking even water, you should fast on the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Jeshta, May-June, when the sun travels in the sign of Taurus, Rishabh, and Gemini, Mithun. According to learned personalities, on this day, one may bathe and perform achaman for pratiprokshan purification. But, while performing achaman, one may drink only that amount of water equal to a drop of gold, or that amount it takes to immerse a single mustard seed. Only this amount of water should be placed in the right palm for sipping, which one should form to resemble a cow's ear. If one drinks more water than this, he might as well have drunk wine despite the soaring heat of summer in the northern hemisphere and cold in the southern hemisphere." This is quite a very dramatic telling of the consequences. One must certainly not eat anything, for if he does so, he breaks his fast. This rigid fast is in effect from sunrise on the Ekadashi day to sunrise on the Dwadashi day. If a person endeavors to observe this great fast very strictly, he easily achieves the result of observing all 24 other Ekadashi fasts throughout the entire year. On Dwadashi, the devotee should bathe early in the morning. Then, according to the prescribed rules, guidelines, and regulative injunctions, and of course, depending upon his ability, he should give some gold and water to worthy Brahmins. Finally, he should cheerfully honor prasadam with a Brahmana. O Bhimasen, one who can fast on this special Ekadashi in this manner reaps the benefit of having fasted on every Ekadashi during the year. There is no doubt of this, nor should there be. O Bhima, now hear the specific merit one gets by fasting on this Ekadashi. The Supreme Lord Keshava, who holds a conch, disc, club, and lotus, personally told me, everyone should take shelter of me and follow my instructions. Then he told me that one who fasts on this Ekadashi without taking even drinking water or eating becomes free of all sinful reactions, and that one who observes the difficult Nirjal fast on the Jeshta Shukla Ekadashi truly reaps the benefit of all other Ekadashi fasts. O Bhimasen, in Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, when all the principles of the Vedas have been destroyed or greatly minimized, and when there will be no proper charity or observance of the ancient Vedic principles and ceremonies, how will there be any means of purifying the self? But there is the opportunity to fast on Ekadashi and become free of all one's past sins. O son of Vayu, what more can I say to you? You should not eat during the Ekadashis that occur during the dark and light fortnights. And you should even give up drinking water. Nir means no, Jala means water, on the particularly auspicious Ekadashi day of Jeshta Shukla Ekadashi. O Vrikodar, voracious eater, whoever fasts on this Ekadashi receives the merits of bathing in all the places of pilgrimage, giving all kinds of charities to worthy persons, and fasting on all the dark and light Ekadashis throughout the year in one go. Of this there is no doubt. O tiger among men, whoever fasts on this Ekadashi truly becomes a great person, and achieves all manner of opulence and wealth, grains, strength, and health. And at the fearful moment of death, the terrible Yamadutas, whose complexions are yellow and black, and who brandish huge maces and twirl mystic bosh ropes in the air for binding their victims, will refuse to approach him. Rather, such a faithful soul will at once be taken to the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu by the Vishnudutas, whose transcendently beautiful forms are clothed in gorgeous yellow garments, and who each hold a disc, club, conch, and lotus in their 4 hands, resembling Lord Vishnu. It is to gain all these benefits that one should certainly fast on this very auspicious and important EKADASI, even from water. When the other Pandavas heard about the benefits to be gained by following Jyeshtha Shukla EKADASI, they resolved to observe it exactly as their grandfather, Srila Vyasadeva, had explained it to their brother Bhimasen. All the Pandavas observed it by refraining from eating or drinking anything, and thus this day is also known as Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi. Sometimes technically it is a Mahadwadashi. Srila Vyasadeva continued, O Bhimasen, therefore you should observe this important fast to remove all of your past sinful reactions. You should pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, in this way making your Sankalpa declaration. O Lord of all the Devas, demigods, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, today I shall observe Ekadashi without taking any water. O unlimited Anantadev, I shall break fast on the next day, Dwadashi. Thereafter, to remove all his sins, the devotee should honor this Ekadashi fast with full faith in the Lord and with full control over his senses. Whether his sins are equal in volume to Mount Sumeru or to Mandrachala Hill, or if he or she observes this Ekadashi, the sins that have been accumulated all become nullified and are burned to ashes. Such is the great power of this Ekadashi. O best of human beings, although a person should also give water and cows in charity during this Ekadashi, if for some reason or other he cannot, then he should give a qualified Brahmin some cloth or a pot filled with water. Water bottles also work. Indeed, the merit achieved by giving water alone equals that gained by giving gold 10 million times a day. O Bhima, Lord Sri Krishna has said that whoever observes this Ekadashi should take a holy bath, give charity to a worthy person, chant the Lord's holy names on a japamala, and perform some kind of recommended sacrifice, such as Nam Sankirtan Yagya. For by doing these things on this day, one receives imperishable benefits. I've also heard that there is a great Nam Yagya occurring in the city today because we have NYC Harinam. And I think I heard that today's Harinam should be in Times Square. So if any of you have been wanting to perform a yagya, Nam Sankirtan Yagya is always there. If you are stuck isolating at home for one more day like me, then chanting on Japamala is always there and recommended. Read extra, chant in your homes, sing to your deities or even a picture of your deities. Take the opportunity to do as much as humanly possible, and then we all get to celebrate with each other over the weekend. There is no need to perform any other kind of religious duty. Observance of this Ekadashi fast alone promotes one to the supreme abode of Sri Vishnu. O best of the Kurus, if one donates gold, cloth, or anything else on this day, the merit one obtains is imperishable. Remember, whosoever eats any grains on Ekadashi becomes contaminated by sin and verily eats only sin. In effect, he has already become a dog eater, and after death he suffers a hellish existence. But he who observes this sacred Jyeshtha Shukla Ekadashi and gives something in charity certainly achieves liberation from the cycle of repeated birth and death and attains to the supreme abode. Observing this Ekadashi, which is sometimes merged with Dwadashi, frees one from the horrible sin of ending the life of a Brahmin, drinking liquor and wine, becoming envious of one's spiritual master, and ignoring his instructions and continually telling lies. Wow. Furthermore, O best of beings, Jivotma, any man or woman who observes this fast properly and worships the Supreme Lord Jalashayi, he who sleeps on the water, and who on the next day satisfies a qualified Brahmin with nice sweets and a donation of cows and money. Such a person certainly pleases the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, so much so that 100 previous generations in his family undoubtedly go to the Supreme Lord's abode, even though they may have been very sinful, of bad character, and guilty of many crimes, including ending their own life, etc. Indeed, one who observes this amazing EKADASI rides on a glorious celestial airplane, Viman, to the Lord's abode. One who on this day gives a Brahmin a water pot, an umbrella, or shoes, certainly goes to the heavenly planets. Indeed, he who simply hears these glories also attains to the transcendental abode of the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu. Whoever performs the Shraddh ceremony to the forefathers on the dark moon day called Amavasya, particularly if it occurs at the time of a solar eclipse, undoubtedly achieves great merit. But this same merit is achieved by him who simply hears this sacred narration. So powerful and so dear to the Lord is this EKADASI. One should clean his teeth properly, and without eating or drinking, observe this EKADASI to please the Supreme Lord Keshava. On the day after EKADASI, one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form as Trivikram by offering him water, flowers, incense, and a brightly burning lamp. Then the devotee should pray from the heart, O God of gods, O deliverer of everyone, O Rishikesh, master of the senses, kindly bestow upon me the gift of liberation, though I can offer you nothing greater than this humble pot filled with water. Then the devotee should donate the water pot to a Brahmin. O Bhimasen, after this EKADASI fast, and donating the recommended items according to his ability, the devotee should feed Brahmins and thereafter honor prasadam silently. Srila Vyasadeva concluded, I strongly urge you to fast on this auspicious, purifying, sin-devouring day, in just the way I've outlined. Thus you will be completely freed of all sins and reach the supreme abode. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Jesh Shukla EKADASI, or Bhimaseni Nirjala EKADASI, Pandava Nirjala EKADASI from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Shri EKADASI Devi ki jai. And so we hear from the pages of Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, thanks to Srila Sanatana Goswami, about the wonder of Krishna's love for his devotees. Narada Muni goes to visit Hanuman. He says, I have heard through the grapevine, quite literally, that you are the recipient of the Lord's mercy. You are the greatest recipient of the Lord's mercy, and you are the greatest devotee. And Hanuman says, no. You think that I have been the recipient of the Lord's mercy. You should see the Pandavas. Somehow or other, I simply yearn to perform some seva for my Sri Ramachandra. But there for the Pandavas, the Lord is running to somehow perform service for them. This I cannot seem to understand. I cannot wrap my mind around it. I have been the carrier of my Lord, and yet then my Lord goes and performs charioteer service for his devotee and friends. I have become the messenger of my Sri Ram. I am proudly known as Ramaduta Hanuman. And yet, my Lord as Sri Krishna becomes a peace envoy and a messenger for the Pandavas, helping them to regain a kingdom. We are the benefits of the love of the Supreme Lord, a certain kind of special love that Krishna gives that is impossible even for Hanuman to understand, to comprehend. This is the glory and the hidden meaning for me of Pandava Nirjala EKADASI, where the Lord bends all of the rules that he set up, where the Lord changes the workings of the universe and says, fine, you cannot do it all the time, just this one day. Fine, just hear with faith the glories of this EKADASI. Fine, simply think of me. Our Lord is bending all of the rules, and then every rule that he has made easier, then he makes again easier, more easier, most easy. Fine, says Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Simply chant the holy name. Fine, you cannot do that, says my Lord Nityananda. Just chant the name of Gauranga. I'll take care of the rest. And then they send Guru. When we are so incredibly stubborn, when we absolutely refuse to take on any of the ropes that they've thrown to us, then our Lord says, I send Guru. I cannot find any means to bring you to me because now we are showing the Lord no mercy. He says in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, you've shown me no mercy. And I cannot find any way to bring you to me without completely eradicating the rules of the universe that I myself set up. And so I appear as Guru. Somehow or other, we are the undeserving but most incredible recipients of the Lord's mercy. And that is causeless. Because what can we say that we did to somehow or other be worthy of this mercy, to attain it? Did we even seek it out properly? No. All we did was show up at whatever time in the morning on a virtual Zoom call, in a virtual Naimisharanya, in a virtual atmosphere, where then we can give and receive in charity the glories of our Lord. And so sometimes when we think, I have no wealth to give in charity, Srila Prabhupada has given us the greatest wealth. You have no wealth to give in charity? Then simply come online for 5 minutes and read the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is giving the greatest wealth in charity. It is inestimable wealth. Better than gold, better than jewels, better than any touchstone. Sanatan Goswami holds more dear the chanting of the holy names, the glories of the holy names, and the glories of Bhagavad Gita. There is absolutely nothing sweeter than Krishna Katha. There is no shelter better available to us, and there is no better best friend than Srimad Bhagavatam. So somehow or other, Krishna has forcibly arranged every favorable condition. All we have to do is show up to the best of our ability. And so, when we think, I can't do this, there is also a Bhima who says, I definitely could not do it. But listen to my story. Take heart. Because what I understand from this day is Krishna is the most kind. And when he feels as though, okay, I need to be more kind, then there's the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And when she feels I need to be more kind, then there's the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he feels I need to be more kind, there's the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And when all of that combines to become the most distilled kindness that could ever be, then there is Guru, there is Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Sorry. Oh, did you?
So, somehow or other, Srimad Bhagavatam has come to our rescue. Guru has come to our rescue. EKADASI Devi has come to our rescue. Whether we knew we needed rescuing or not. And many times we don't even know we need rescuing. But Krishna knows. So I'm so grateful to have been with all of you. We could discuss this for hours upon hours. But I have to leave room for other devotees to share their gratitude and reflections for this wonderful Jyesht Shukla Ekadashi, Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi, Bhimaseni Nirjal Ekadashi, named after the devotees. Why? Because Krishna says, my mercy follows the mercy of my devotees. I'm completely dependent on whatever my devotees tell me to do because he is completely controlled by the love of his devotees. And that is how he likes it best. All glories to the unimaginable heart of our Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, our dear Murlidhar, our dearest Govinda Dev. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all of the Vaishnavas assembled and their kindness, and all glories to Ekadashi Devi. Shri Ekadashi Devi ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Acyuta Gopi Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Okay, dear devotees, it's your time to shine. Who wants to shine first? Adipusha Prabhu?
Praying to Srila Prabhupada what to say. We feel like Prabhupada would like us to offer words of appreciation for kirtans that Gopinath leads. Unbelievable. We're listening to the one of several from the festival at New Vrindavan. It was just breathtaking, just wonderful. Calling out, inspiring other people to chant so enthusiastically. Thank you so much.
Receiving from my elders is that's my greatest life's gift, and it always feels like the best parent-teacher conference ever. So please, Adipurush Prabhu, I beg you, just tell my Guru Maharaj, put in a good word for me.
The Guru is empowering you to chant like that. There's no other explanation. It's completely surreal. Thank you so much. This is what the world needs.
Wow, Min.
Hey Krishna, so good to see you.
Good to see you. In person and on the screen.
Yes, I have a question, but I also wanted to tell you that while we're in New Vrindavan, I finished your book, and it was the most amazing, helpful thing that I did every evening, before going to the temple the next morning, and just going throughout the day, moving throughout the day. It just made me feel like I was with all these amazing poets, like Mirabai and Saint Teresa of Avila. It's just so incredible. So thank you so much for that. And particularly the portion of the call and response section I read a few times. It was so perfect. So perfect. Thank you so much. And so my question, I really liked what you said at the end, that Krishna creates the most favorable condition for us to show up. And I really like that, and I like to sort of try to live with that every moment, that accept whatever situation I find in to be the most favorable situation that God has created for me. It's not always easy to feel that way. So what would be the best way that I actually understand that and be thankful?
Yeah, Sachinandan Maharaj, when he was here in New York, he was speaking, and he said something that really struck my heart in the best way. He said, so many times we are trying to see God. He said, so the next time that you're trying to see God, don't look for God's face, look for his hands. He said, if we can look for the hands of the Lord in every single situation, then we are already kind of, the battle is halfway won. And so just the act of looking for, how has Krishna made this the best situation for me? Already, Krishna begins to reciprocate with that. He begins to reveal more of his plan. He begins to reveal all of the ways that we can still embrace wholeheartedly our Krishna conscious practice, no matter what situation we're in. And so whether you find yourself home isolating to make sure that you don't get anybody else sick, even though I'm not feeling as bad anymore, thankfully, but it means that, and I was reflecting on this yesterday, I said, this means that I literally have nothing to do but sit and chant and read all day. That's, God literally sat me down and said, look, I've made a situation where don't do anything, just sit and chant and read, breathe, hang out. I could be upset, missing so many programs, all these things are happening, but actually, no, the Lord gave me the most favorable condition simply to show up on EKADASI. Simply to show up. And so sometimes, I've said this before, sometimes we'll go for a, a medical procedure and they say, okay, you have to fast. And then we think, okay, I have to fast, I have to do all of these things. Dedicate that fast to Krishna. Was it originally what it was for? No, but who cares? In those moments, oh Krishna, whatever I've done, knowingly or unknowingly, somehow let that be service to you. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the thing that he wants the most, just think of me. Just add me on to whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as a sacrifice unto me. 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So now Krishna is saying, whatever you do, knowingly or unknowingly, simply attach me and watch the magic happen. So, you have those like science kits and they're like, just add water, just add Krishna and watch. And I guarantee you that act of just showing up and just looking for Krishna's hands, where can I find those beautiful lotus hands in whatever situation this is? And then Krishna responds twice as vehemently. Right.
Jai Shishirada Mulidara Shingara Chandran Ki Jai. Okay, welcome to the Afterglow. Acyuta Gopi Devidasi, do you have any instructions for us that you'd like to give us, or maybe some tips on how to follow Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi in the way that is pleasing to Krishna and his devotees, and also uh, doable for us with our 9 to 5 jobs and things like that?
Srila Prabhupada really put an emphasis on following the spirit of Ekadashi. And so he said you can simply fast from grains and beans, just as all of the Ekadashis are, and we can hold that a complete fast in our hearts. But we shouldn't make ourselves sick, especially if we have jobs, etc., which are so important. And Srila Prabhupada was very understanding about the fact that jobs were very important for people to have, because how else are we going to be able to maintain an entire movement? How else are we supposed to maintain a complete society of Krishna consciousness without those who have jobs who are able to help, without those who are in actuality taking care of devotees and Vaishnavas? So you don't have to be too hard on yourself. You don't have to think, oh, now's the time I'm going to work and let me do a full fast. And if that's going to make it unbearable for you to continue on, don't do that. Don't faint. There's already enough austerity in Kali Yuga, just living, breathing, being, and especially in New York. New York is like the concentrated energy of material energy. So we're already working with so much against us. We can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and just increase our hearing and chanting and reading. And so if you're at work and you have a free moment, listen to a little bit of kirtan. If you have a free moment, read one more verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. There's our time is to get creative with just adding a little bit more Krishna. You have a few minutes, if you're on a train or you're on a commute, whatever you can, just add in a little bit more Krishna and see what magic Krishna imparts into the day. So sometimes it's not always possible that everybody just takes off work for the one day. And I do know many devotees who do take off work for Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. They have structured their work in such a way that they'll work hard the rest of the time so they can take off this one day and simply chant the holy names. But if that's not possible, then we do the best we can.
Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Yeah, every time we choose Krishna, we feel good. Every time we choose things other than Krishna, we always feel frustrated and disappointed. Thank you. Okay, would anyone like to speak? Please go ahead. A last call for audience to speak. Let's see. Maybe we can ask an introverted devotee to speak. How about Champakamala? Champakamala, do you feel introverted enough to unmute yourself and glorify Krishna by asking a pertinent question? Or maybe sharing a reflection?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'm sorry I'm off camera because I'm also sick. But I feel like this is a blessing for Krishna that I can stay home and I don't have to do anything today, apart from just having an easy fast because I'm not running around New York City. And I'm so grateful for you, Acyuta, to just give us the best setting of intention for this most special day. Thank you so much. Love you. Sending love to all the devotees today and hoping you have the most auspicious day.
How sweet. Thank you, Champakamala.
That's my
Champakamala.
Champakamala.
What did you say, Acyuta Gopi?
That's my Champakamala. I'm not sure how many other people that they have their very own Champakamala, but that's my one.
Cool, cool.
I am yours, but I have to share you with all these devotees, so it's not fair.
One time I didn't really do my best observing EKADASI, and the following day Krishna made me extremely sick. He messed up my stomach big time, and I was forced to fast. And that was a very good lesson for me. He says, Ananda, do your best. You're skinny, you need to eat all the time, but still, do your best. Or else Krishna will force you. That's called causeless mercy, right, Acyuta Gopi? When Krishna upsets your stomach like that.
It is complete causeless mercy. I also sometimes it is reciprocation. Sometimes we do these yagyas and we think, what happens. But when we do these intense yagyas, and so we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, when the devatas and the asuras were churning Mount Meru, and they were churning this milk ocean to try and get nectar, the first thing that came out was poison. And so sometimes when we are doing all of these intense yagyas, which we don't think of as yagyas, because we think yagya and fire and brahmins and chanting and intense flames and mantras for ages and years and so long. And this is not so different. When Mahaprabhu says this is Sankirtan Yagya, really it is a yagya. It's a nam yagya. So when we perform these activities, we don't realize that we are literally churning the atmosphere. And once we used to have these 6 and 12-hour kirtans at the Bhakti Center. And once, right after the monthly 12-hour kirtan, we had churned the atmosphere so amazingly that everyone within a 5-mile radius of the Bhakti Center got a stomach flu. Literally everyone. Everyone. And you don't realize how not in control of your body you are until you have a stomach flu. Isn't it, Ananda? You think,
Yes.
I'm
No
completely
details,
in
but
control.
yes.
Right? You're like, I'm in complete control until you have a stomach flu. And then you realize I am completely humbled and not in control. You are at the mercy of everything else. And you find yourself praying for things that you never prayed for before. And I realized that these nam yagyas are very, very powerful things. And sometimes it can be reciprocation and a cleanse occurs and it can be very intense. But yeah, if we look for Krishna's hands, then you say, I knew I wasn't trying my best. And now Krishna says, no, I'm going to make sure that you become my devotee. You are going to fast on Ekadashi. You are going to become my devotee. I'm going to give you this mercy. And so now we wind up playing a transcendental game of mercy dodgeball, where Krishna throws the mercy at us, and then we keep trying to dodge it. But Krishna is so much more accurate than we are at throwing things. And so we can't get away. But Krishna is going to chase us down with mercy. And when he can't seem to get to us, he sends a transcendental man named Nitai to come and chase us down. And when Nitai says, please chant the holy name, and they refuse, Nitai would say, no problem. But I just want you to know, if you refuse, I'm simply going to roll on the floor and break up all your furniture. And then he would make good on the promise. And so now imagine this golden mountain of a man is rolling on the floor, breaking up all of your furniture. This is what he does to our ego, our previously conceived notions, our ideas of who we thought we were, all of our own plans. This is our perfectly crafted house, right? All of our plans, our ideas. And then in comes Nitai. He says, please chant the holy name. And we think, yeah, tomorrow. He says, okay, no problem. Then he rolls on the ground and breaks up all of our plans and our furniture and all the things that we thought we had, until we finally, okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And that's all he wants. So somehow or other, Krishna has decided by hook or by crook, you are going to be a devotee.
Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Okay. Annabelle, are Isaiah and Annabelle, Karen, are Isaiah and Annabelle ready to glorify the Lord by reciting the mantra? By yelling it as loud as you can, Isaiah. Okay, spit. Oh. It was muted for some reason. Maybe it's just me.
Was it muted? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah.
Maybe they shouted so loudly. Try again.
Nice.
Good.
That's how it's done, dear devotees. That's how you chant. You're not supposed to chant. You're supposed to cry and yell for Krishna's mercy, especially today. Thank you, Acyuta Gopi, once again for your time, for your dedication to this EKADASI observance that we have. Thank you all for participating in the yagya. This is yagya. This is intense. And our ego, our 9 to 5 job, it's just a bunch of furniture. And Nitai will knock it down when the time is right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.